Quo Vadis, Aida, nominated for Best International Feature at last Oscars, ended up losing to another round. It's a Bosnian film which depicts the massacre of Bosnian civilians at the hands of Serbian soldiers in the summer of 1995. The story is told through the eyes of the titular Aida, a Bosnian woman from Srebrenica who is working for the local UN base as a translator. At the beginning of the film, we immediately learn that the tensions are high. Srebrenica is meant to be this UN safe zone, but the Serbians continue approaching the city. The UN officials maintain that they issued an ultimatum and they intend to bomb the Serbians if they don't stop, but that very quickly proves to be a false promise. With the soldiers entering the city, most of the population escapes, trying to take shelter in the UN base. But the Serbians are still coming, and amidst all of this, Aida is desperately trying to ensure the survival of her own family. So I was not very familiar with the recent history regarding the Balkans. I knew there were always tensions between the countries and the nations. I knew there was always some sort of ongoing conflict there, which makes it all the more sad that all of these people seem to often speak the same language, literally, and live next to each other, and yet they cannot find a way to somehow live peacefully. The film doesn't really provide a historical background to all of this or try to explain the conflict's nature. What it does instead is it throws us in and puts us together with the characters in this claustrophobic situation of extreme danger, a literal life or death situation. Shows us the fear and panic amidst regular citizens when faced with the monstrosity of the opposing army and the war crimes and genocide that they went through with. I think that makes the story way more personal, and I was really gripped by it. I felt really on edge the whole time. At some moments, even to the point of being nauseated by what was going on. It's sickening to learn of what happened there, because of course this was a true story. And it's difficult to pinpoint which aspect of it made me feel worse, the absolute inhumanity of the soldiers or the total unwillingness of the UN powers to do anything to try and save lives. Horrific stuff, especially as you realize how recent this all was. I mean, we're kind of used to seeing war movies filled with tragedy, death and pain and thinking, oh, this was World War II or Vietnam, this was long ago, but this was the 1990s, and to think people who literally lived next door to one another in some cases were capable of such casual murder is just staggeringly chilling. I also think that the film has a really poignant ending that kind of taps into that idea that your neighbor can be your worst enemy suddenly, and how that makes people feel. I think it's a really good movie overall. It's unpleasant and it's difficult to watch, but much needed so that we don't forget the atrocities and hopefully learn a lesson from them.